What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video with your host, as always, K-Mac Time. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite systems as a child growing up, one of the all-time classics, which is, of course, I'm talking about the N64, the Nintendo 64. Today we're going to be talking about 20 of the most rarest and expensive games. So let me break it down a little bit for you. Some of these games aren't rare, some of them are super rare, but these are the ones that will cost the most money to put in your collection, some of the greatest games to have. Now, as we all know, Nintendo 64 is known for having some of the best games ever. I'm talking Mario Kart, Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64. Some of those games didn't make it on this list because they sold so well that they're not rare. I mean, I have 3 copies of some of these games, so they're not rare, they're not hard to get your hands on, but these are the ones that are a little bit different. We're going to start off at number 20 here. It's Super Smash Brothers. And like I said, this isn't the most rare game on earth as it was super popular. It sold so many copies, but it's still pretty pricey to get your hands on today. If you're looking to get a copy of this game for the N64, it's going to run you somewhere between $25 to $35 easily if you can find this game. It's very sought after. People still play the crap out of this game. I have 2 copies of this game in my apartment. Love this game. Very cool. Very expensive today. Now our next game is Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. Now this game came out only 10 months after the original N64 Castlevania game. So it sold so many few copies. It didn't sell very well because the original was way too close to release. They eventually discontinued this game very early into production, so they didn't really make too many, didn't really sell that well. So it is worth probably $25 to $30 just because it's so rare today. But we're moving on to our next one, which is Snowboard Kids 2, another snowboarding game published by Atlas. Now, like most Atlas cartridge games, Snowboards Kid 2 was produced in very small quantities and never republished, making this one of the most sought after and rarest games on the Nintendo 64. A price of this, of a used copy that's outside of the package, is around $24, whereas you find one sealed in package, it's around $300. That's how rare this one is. Next up is Starcraft 64. Now, this is a real-time strategy game for the Nintendo 64 where you control an army and you must move your troops and equipment around to destroy enemies and take control of their bases. However, this genre of game was never very popular on consoles, and this game was sadly produced in very small quantities, and it is one of the harder N64 games to find. It price ranges from around $30 to $35 used and around $200 new. Next up is Zelda Majora's Mask Collector's Edition, which is a gold cartridge with the holographic cover. It's exact same as a regular edition, just the cover is different. It's holographic and gold. The collector edition version was only available at launch. However, this game sold very well, so there are a lot of copies around. Very cool game, though. Still holds its value. Right around the price, same price when it was first brand new. Right around $35 to $40 for this game. Our next game is, of course, another Zelda game, the Ocarina of Time. Very, very classic game. This is, again, the collector's edition. It came with a gold cartridge. It's only available at launch. Just a little bit more sought after than the regular edition, although the regular edition still fetches a good price. Still a very popular game people are looking to get their hands on. And an on-boxed copy of this used worth about $30, and a new in the box probably around $250, $265 looking at to get your hands on a new box one. Next up on the list is Mario Party 3. Now, this was the last of the Mario Party games to be developed for the Nintendo 64 before they moved on to the GameCube versions of the game. However, it still sold around 1 million units or 1 million copies. This game is valuable because it's so popular, not because it's hard to find. And a copy of this game will run you probably around $30 if you find it in a used game store today. Next up on the list is Auger Battle 64. Now, Auger Battle 64 is a real-time strategy game. Was again published by Atlas, who was notorious for underproducing copies of their game. The Super Nintendo version had a game of this, very rare as well on that console. But this game was, like I said, very small production scale of that, made it kind of rare. Looking to get a copy of this, probably around $40 used. Next up is Harvest Moon 64, which is a lifelike farm simulator where you play as a boy who takes over his family farm and must raise crops to meet town folks and start a family. However, this game was not very popular and had a small niche market in the United States, and just never really got the production it needed to get off the ground. However, the Natsumi never produced the game in large quantities, and this game is pretty rare and will run you somewhere around $45 used and around $900 in box. That's how rare this thing is. Our only sports game on this list is International Superstar Soccer 2000. This game could not compete against the other games or soccer games coming out. For this reason, Konami was never able to successfully license with FIFA to have actual names of players. They're just unnamed characters. So the 2000 version of the game sold very, very poorly, and it's actually really, really rare today. They only sold a couple copies of this game compared to other games. You can find a used copy for around $45, and a new copy in box sells for around $450. Bomberman 64 Second Attack sold less than the original Bomberman because it was released near the end of the N64's life cycle and was passed over by most video game retailers at the time. Doesn't mean it's not a great game. This game is very, very good. I'll say it's better than the first one, but because it sold so poorly, it's still hard to find. A used copy of this game running about $45, and new in the box around 300 big ones. Next up is Worms Armageddon, which is a turn-based strategy game originally developed for the PC, but ported over to the N64 and other consoles. You control 8 worms and must have various weapons like shotguns, grenades, and bazookas to destroy opposing worms before they destroy you. The Nintendo 64 version is the rarest of the different Worms Armageddon ports and has been around the same price of $50 now for the last couple of years. Very cool game. Next up is my personal favorite on the list, which is Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a third-person game developed by Rare. It includes lots of language, blood, and situations, very funny dialogue, and it was critically acclaimed as one of the best graphics on the N64. However, this game was released the same year the Nintendo 64 was discontinued, and the sales suffered because of this. Well, it didn't sell very well, like I said. Very, very cool game, though. However, the prices for this game have skyrocketed over the past 5 years, and you can get a copy of this game for probably $75, $80 used, and probably around $180 in box. That rare, very cool game. Love this game. Next up on the list is Clay Fighter's Sculptors Cut, which was a Blockbuster exclusive game, which meant it was meant for rental only. This game is just an original update of the original Clay Fighters, some added characters and bigger cutscenes, but only 20,000 copies were ever manufactured. Because the game was rental only, most rental services threw away the original case and manuals. The box and manual for this Sculptors Kit are even more rare than the game. If you find a box and manual for this, the box and manual alone are worth $220 to $250 by themselves. And if you find the game with all of that, you're looking at somewhere around $500 to $800 for a complete copy of this game. And finally, our rarest and most expensive game for the Nintendo 64 is Yoshi's Story International Version. Is a demo cartridge made for retail toys in North America. All the text in the game is in Japanese, but only works in a North American N64s. The cartridge says not for resale and international version on the front, and is the rarest game on the list, and will fetch you up to $275 for a used copy of this. Very rare game, guys. Very cool stuff. But that's all we have time for, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section if you guys would like to see more of these videos where I can do all the kinds of systems. I'm going to go ahead and put it up to you guys to vote if you guys would rather see rare PlayStation 1 games or rare Game Boy Color games. So go ahead and in the comment section leave me which one you guys want to see next. Go ahead and drop this video a like rating. If you get to 500 likes, I will drop out the next rare game video for you guys a day early. As always, guys, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, guys, game the fuck on. I'll see you then. Peace out.